debate over vaccines is reigniting. This week, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is holding his first round of meetings with senators on his nomination to be Health and Human Services Secretary. His vaccine skepticism expected to be a big topic. This as a lawyer advising Kennedy, Aaron Siri, reportedly filed a petition back in 2022 to revoke government approval for the polio vaccine. Siri later saying it was only for one specific polio vaccine. But President-elect Trump himself recently called the polio vaccine, quote, the greatest thing. Let's now bring in board-certified pediatrician Dr. Krupa Playforth, who runs the popular Instagram profile, The Pediatrician Mom. Doctor, thanks for hopping on with me this morning. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So for starters, I understand you grew up in Africa. You've seen firsthand the effects of an unvaccinated population. Let's start there and what that actually looks like on the ground.
I think vaccines are a victim of their own success. Very few people in the US remember what it was like before the vaccine, but as somebody that grew up in Malawi, sub-Saharan Africa, I remember polio can be very severe. And while some people might have mild symptoms, the worst illnesses are the ones that we see in the young kids under the age of 5. And 1 in 200 infections can lead to permanent paralysis. Up to 10% of those people that are paralyzed can die because the muscles that help them breathe become paralyzed.
Just a frightening disease. So if the FDA were to take away its stamp of approval for the polio vaccine, I mean, what does that mean? And what would that look like for Americans and our options?
A lot here is going to depend exactly on what happens, of course. But changing access to the polio vaccine, which is responsible for the near eradication of a devastating illness, risks outbreaks of that illness. Polio still exists in other countries. So if we end up with an exposure here and we have decreased protection at both the individual and the population level, we run the risk of a significant outbreak, especially because the time between exposure and symptoms can be up to 10 days. So we could have a widespread outbreak before we even realize it.
And so obviously we have to see how this plays out, but if they were to take away their stamp of approval, does that mean it's not available to families? Would it be taken off the list of vaccines that kids have to get in order to enroll at school? Like, how would that play out for families and kids moving forward?
I think this is an unprecedented situation. Very difficult to know exactly what that would look like.
The other thing that caught my eye and my ear, doctor, was that the lawyer there that I mentioned off the top said he was only talking about one specific kind of polio vaccines. There are 2 different kinds. Tell us about those and how they differ.
Yes, so there are 2 different polio vaccines, the oral polio vaccine and the inactivated polio vaccine. In the United States, the only one that we give is the inactivated polio vaccine, which does not run the risk of causing polio. In very rare situations, the oral polio vaccine, which is a live but weakened vaccine, can cause actual polio. That's something that is used in other countries because it is effective at diminishing outbreaks, but we don't need to use it here for now.
What do you think are the biggest myths about not just the polio vaccine, but other vaccines that are out there? I mean, I imagine there's a lot you'd like to set the record straight on.
There are so many things that pediatricians are hearing, and probably more so in the last 2 years compared to before then. There's a lot of concerns about the ingredients in vaccines, about testing, and what types of studies have been done on vaccines. And the biggest thing I would like to say is that these vaccines have been very thoroughly studied, and so many doses have been given out. It doesn't mean that there aren't cases where there have been reactions, but the majority of the vaccines have had adequate testing. All of the vaccines have had adequate testing and are safe to give.
Yeah. One question. I'm a new mom. I have a 7-month-old at home, and it seems like every appointment that my husband and I take her to, right, she's getting like 4 new shots. And we're like, is this normal, this amount of vaccines when they're so little? Is that normal? And what do you tell parents like me who are kind of wondering, you know, what's normal and what's not?
I like to hear parents out in the office. It is normal, partly because the younger kids are at higher risk for more severe illness for a lot of these things. We're seeing pertussis outbreaks right now, for example, and pertussis or whooping cough is something that we vaccinate against at 2, 4, 6 months, really early on in life, because those babies are the ones that could get the sickest and could die from pertussis. The bulk of the vaccines are given before the age of 2, and then after that, the vaccines slow down. So after your child is 2 years old, this is going to get better.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.